What's happening, everybody? This is Gino, and today is not one of those typical reviews that I'm going to be doing. Today is going to be a little bit different because I did see a lot of videos online already talking about Surface Go, and also, there's a lot of video about the Surface Pro as well. So I have two devices here, and what I like to do a lot of times, I like to talk about more of a productivity and how I use this for my work. Every day I would go and pull out these two devices usually, and at work I have a PC. I plug in my Surface Pro, and which is connected to two monitors. And when I have a time, I like to share how I do my work at my workspace. But here's my home, and what I do is I use this device here. Surface Pro is great. It's very versatile. When I travel, I pull this sucker out, and I have no problems with this one. It has more than enough power to do what I have to do. So basically, I do a lot of Word documents, PowerPoints, when I have to get the meetings ready, creating my marketing deck and stuff like that. This is really, really good. On this device, Surface Go Pro, I picked this up maybe 3 weeks ago, and the reason I got this device is because I wanted to do something else with this one. Because I do take a lot of notes, and then I think about 7 years ago, I ditched all the papers and I wanted to go fully 100% digital, which means I scan all the papers and make sure that I hold on to that. And I think that incident happened because I lost all my work before my paper. It just doesn't last that long. So ever since then, I just went digital. And when Surface Pro came out, this sucker here, I think it was a Surface Pro 4. That's when I started to pick up. I had a Core i7. So this is actually my third Surface Pro that I have. It's called New Surface. And on this one here, Surface. I can't keep up with this name. Surface Go. So I picked this up at Best Buy. It was not on sale, of course. I think it was the day that it just came out, and this one they had two options actually. They had this one that I have right now is a 10-inch touchscreen, which is about 128 gigs of storage and also 8 gigs of memory. So it's about 550, and if you want to go along with the other devices, like if you need a keyboard, that's going to be additional $100. And of course, the premium keyboard is going to be around 130. I don't really care about those kind of things because as long as I get my stuff done, I'm okay with it. I know there's some people out there, they want to make your device beautiful and stuff like that. I have no problem with that. For me, I just have to get to work and get it done. So the reason I got the 128 gig storage is because I save a lot of stuff, like digital stuff and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just get to the point. Enough with the introduction. And again, I'm not gonna be talking about specs and stuff like that. I just wanna talk about purely work and how I store my work and take notes and stuff like that. So on this side, so I use Surface Go mostly for note taking, and I'm gonna just open this up real quick. And again, there's a ton of videos out there. OneNote versus Evernote, and I mean the list goes on. But what I like to use is basically I like to use OneNote when I'm taking notes with my pen. Okay, I'm going to show this in a bit. And I do apologize, my camera is a little shaky. This is my first video that I'm taking right now, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm actually filming with my phone, and what my kids taught me, actually, they were actually making vlogs all the time, and I'm making this video here. So I don't really care about, like, I don't know, most people care about how big it is. 10 inches is not going to be enough, but I tell you what, 10 inches is more than enough to take notes. I take some serious notes here. The other day I was actually organizing my notes at work, and I found my notes worth about 5 years, and that was kind of surprising. It took me three hours. So there's a actual organization that needs to go in there. I mean, just imagine you have paper trails of notes that you have to organize those papers. That's going to take also 3 hours. So for this one, I'm okay with this because it's all digital and I have to copy and paste and rename stuff and tagging and stuff like that. And OneNote doesn't have a tagging feature, of course, but I like to just take notes and forget about it because I can always find it by doing a search, and it works really well for me. And Evernote, I've been using that for quite some time too. I think the last time I registered was about 7 years ago. I think about the same time I started OneNote and Evernote, and I exported, imported, and stuff like that. I went back and forth, OneNote between OneNote and Evernote, and back and forth. So I realized that for work, OneNote actually works out really well for me. Evernote works personally. I get to scan, and my scanner is actually very compatible. Here, I'll show it to you real quick. So here's a scanner. So I scan everything to this machine, and everything gets loaded to Evernote. So here, this is a quick note that I took, and then let me see here. When I go back, I do have a notes that I took from 2014 all the way to 18, and you'll see here. Like January all the way to August of 2018. I mean, these are real notes, and I showed this to one of my staff, and they thought I was crazy because they thought I was just drawing pictures when I was in a meeting. But no, I actually take notes. Whoever is my staff, when I talk with them, I use sometimes I use a recording just in case I forget something, and I go back and take my minutes and always review my notes. So it is very, very important for me. So here you'll see 2018. Every year I have 12 months, and I like to just take it as if I'm really just taking my notes on a paper. Nothing fancy, just straightforward. 2015, again, highlights January all the way to December. And I like to date on the top on the title because when you start doing a search, I realized that one thing that OneNote doesn't have, it doesn't really show you when you actually took those notes. So this became very helpful for me. So it took me a while to make it consistent, standardize all the notes, so that later on I can look for these notes and go back to wherever I have to. So 2018, and at the bottom I do have important notes here that I take: performance, pricing, formulas, and shows and stuff like that. I mean, those are just my subcategories. So it's really straightforward. I love it. I don't care what people say, because for me, as long as I'm able to take notes, I'm good. I don't doodle, and I just don't want to forget. Whenever there's a note, I like to zoom in and then start writing. For example, the title, I don't write on the title here. I like to type it in. That's just me. I mean, you can write down, meeting minutes. It doesn't matter. I don't do it this way. Some people, they do. More power for them. For me, I like to type it out, just a title. And then what I do is I use this section here, this empty here. I like to put tags, whatever the key tags, because again, Evernote has a wonderful tag feature. You can tag whatever you want, but for OneNote, unfortunately, sometimes when you scribble, it doesn't, pick up those words. I like to make it more accurate. So I just take like 5 seconds, put the tags down, the person's name, participants, about the meeting, some of the keynotes and stuff like that. I just type everything here, and here, and this is my war zone. That's when I take all the key highlights of the meeting, and if there's any diagram or anything like that, I just take a picture real quick and draw on top of the diagram, which Evernote doesn't have. Again, I love Evernote. There's some features that I love about OneNote over Evernote, and there's some features that I love Evernote features that I wish that OneNote could have, but that's not the case. I'm okay with it because personally, I think Evernote works out really okay. I don't really doodle on my personal basis, and for OneNote, it does that work just fine with what I need. Okay, so here's my quick review. I use this system when I want to sit down and work for 5 hours or 6 hours straight. I have no problem with the Surface Pro here. This OneNote works out really well. All these features that people find, like games and stuff like that, I don't really use it. So 8 gigs of RAM, it works fine for me. I don't even think I'm gonna fill up 128 gigs with my OneNote, so I don't really care. Okay, so thank you for watching, and hopefully if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm not sure if this is interesting for you guys, but if it is interesting, I'd like to show you more in depth of the videos about how I get my stuff done. There's some to-do list, there's some other features and applications that I need. With my position at work, it does require a lot of stuff happening at the same time, so I just like to just share you a couple of things. Okay, and before I go, I picked up this mouse here. This is really, really cool. It's a Microsoft mouse, and it works well because I do travel a lot, and it just fits in to my back flat, and just like that. Okay, I thought it was cool. It's called Arc Mouse. If you guys want it, maybe I'll leave the link down there. You guys can pick it up. It's not that expensive. This is my second mouse that I have. Yeah. My wife thinks I'm crazy because I'm picking up all these devices, but I really need them. All right. Anyways, thank you for watching, and leave me some comments and let me know how you think.